Hey guys, Shelly Longenecker here. Hope you are holding up well in your part of the world and that you're staying safe and sane and keeping your mental and emotional health steady. I am coming to you today with lesson 2 and sensible food solutions in a senseless time. Okay, so you know that I usually bring you frugal, whole food tips that can help you year round with cutting the amount of time, money, and energy you spend on whole food. But right now, I'm going to be releasing about 10 tips that will help you save money on groceries right now in the middle of this unique time in history that we're all living in. So I'm not pretending that it's sunshine and rainbows out there. I get it. We're in a hard time and we're facing hard circumstances. And while many of the things that I teach year round are relevant right now, some of them just aren't. And so I'm putting out some new tips that will help you right now. And so the first tip that I taught a couple days ago was on how getting your mind right before you go shopping is critical, right? Making sure that you shut off the negative, input some positive, get yourself in a peaceful and calm place before you go grocery shopping so that you don't get caught up subscribing to the fear and hysteria and then buying things that you may not be able to use, you may not be able to store, you don't know how to cook, your family doesn't like, right? So the second tip is also a mental tip. It's more about how to get your mind right. I have about one more get your mind right tip before I launch into the specific grocery tips. But the reason I want to talk about mental things is because I promise you that what we're facing right now is a real problem out there, but we also have a real problem in here. And if we don't get this part right, we're not going to be able to handle what's out there. And you will spend more, you'll have more stress, and you just won't be able to manage this time as easily. So tip 2 is this. And it's focus on what you do have and not on what you don't have. And this tip actually comes out of our many years living as a food allergy family. So as a food allergy family, early on when you're diagnosed, or I'll just tell our story, when we were diagnosed, our son was allergic to, oh my gosh, I mean, I'm just going to exaggerate and say 100 things, right? It was over 10. It was giant, the list. And the amount of foods that we couldn't eat seemed huge. We couldn't eat so many of our favorite things. Somewhere along the line in our food allergy journey, I realized if I focused on the food we could eat rather than the food we couldn't eat, I had a much better experience with living with food allergies. Because here's the reality that I learned for food allergies. There were so many more foods we could eat than foods we couldn't eat. Now, I know that's not a true story for every allergy family, but it's a true story for most allergy families. And that's what I want to challenge you with right now. That right now there are empty shelves. Right now there are empty bins and, freezer sections and frozen sections and produce sections. But there is also food available. There is food probably for the majority of us. We have some food in our pantries, some food in our fridge, some food in our freezers. And then when you go shopping, there is some food there. And it is so important that you focus on the food that is available rather than the food and supplies that are not available. And let me tell you why this is important. Because if you focus on what is not available, your mind will be in a position of scarcity and fear, right? So if you focus on what's not available, you're going to see an empty shelf and your mind is going to start freaking out, and it is going to start shutting down its ability to creatively think, and it will shop from a point of scarcity and fear. Jacob, I'm on a live. Can you go, please? I'll be out in 1 minute.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know that.
However, if you approach your pantry, your refrigerator, your freezer, and the grocery stores from a mindset of focusing on the food that is available to you, this is what's going to happen. Your subconscious mind will kick in and it will start creating food solutions for you based on what's available. And all you have to do is say this. You just have to say, okay, these are the items that I have available to me. What can I create with them? These are the items that I have available to me. What can I create with them? I promise you that if you go into the stores, if you go into your pantry, refrigerator, and freezer with this mindset, you are going to create solutions to the problem at hand. If you go into it focusing on what's not available, you will be in a state of fear and panic. And your subconscious mind will, the only solution that it will create is to hoard, grab up, buy up, and you might buy things you can't afford. You might buy things you can't use. You might buy things you won't use, things you don't know how to cook, things your family won't eat. And it's not going to put you in a position to create a good food solution for your family in this time. So focus on what is available. And then with what is available, ask yourself, I see that this is available. I see you. Can you please go away right now? I'll be done in a minute.
I'm just going to
when you approach it with what is available and you ask yourself, okay, this is what's available. What can I do with this? Your mind will start creating solutions. And I promise you that there is enough food available for all of us if we can set our mind right and create solutions rather than looking at the problem. It's a small shift, but it's powerful. And I promise it will help you save money during these uncertain and stressful times. All right, that's tip 2. I'll be back soon. I don't know when to give you tip number 3. Take care.